Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I forgot to put in a recording at the beginning of the last session, but that's okay. Just a reminder, these first few episodes are going to probably seem really jolted, and that's because it was just one long super session. And so there wasn't like a good stopping point for most of these videos, so they're just going to kind of jump around until it gets to the end. That being said, you're able to understand everything that's going on, and you're seeing all the cohesive parts, but it's not like super well done. For the future, when we do sessions, they will just be an hour to 2 hours long, maybe three, depending on what's going on. And they'll just be like start session, end session. There's an episode. So hang in there a little while longer. I think there's one or two more after this one, depending on how I break them up. Probably only one, but we'll see. So I hope you guys are still enjoying the series. Yeah, let's continue to see what horrible misadventures our dear heroes get into in the Reichwald, shall we? Hope you guys enjoy. Bye.
Yeah, I'm going to look for medicinal herbs.
Alright. You don't find shit. Would anyone like to look for anything else?
I would like to roll.
Or maybe cough cough hint hint harvest some wolf meat.
Does it taste at all?
It's food.
Would you rather eat whatever the hell the butcher is finding?
I've still got a nice loaf of bread.
Well, you're an elf, so you don't count.
Yeah, harvest the wolf meat.
Yeah.
Then all you have to do is just roll, let's say, just roll a strength check.
Not outdoor survival.
If you haven't, you may roll that instead. If you would like to
I
substitute
will
that.
harvest the meat of the wolf I was fighting for the entirety of the thing.
Fail.
I was too busy making the final.
Meriton, actually, as you collected the wolf pelt, you rolled a 2, so that was a good enough roll. I will allow you to also take 10 pounds of wolf meat, and it will count as 30 encumbrance.
I will roll
Alright.
a follow trail check.
Foul, you failed, correct?
I will try and get some wolf meat.
Okay.
I will now throw that follow trail check.
I'm good.
Morik, you collect 5 pounds of wolf meat.
Which is
Counts as 15 encumbrance.
I'm going to do a perception check to see if I hear anything coming at us again.
Okay.
Is it roll? Is it the 10 or the 100 for intelligence check?
If it's any check ever, it's D100. Because it's percentage based. Think of it that way.
We're looking for human footsteps.
Okay.
Success.
Okay. I'll be typing something to you.
I like to point out, though, the irony of the fact that the one person I haven't healed is the one that asked where I learned how to heal.
The one who asked where you learn to heal. Where you learn to heal because you failed to heal yourself. You sure you're typing it to me, Sotek? I'm not getting anything coming through at the moment.
I have to type it first.
I thought it came up with the message.
No, if you're whispering, it doesn't. It keeps that hidden.
All right, fair enough. Okay, what do I do with this?
You either do nothing or take action.
Well,
I will take action. I presume you want me to tell them something relevant in character?
Or you could just leave, I guess, but that probably wouldn't be the best plan.
Probably not. Give me a moment to actually recover my accent.
In the meantime, can I take another search check?
For what?
Anything of medicinal use?
Medicinal? No.
No, okay. Anything
Gentlemen.
for food use?
Fine.
Now that we're done with that. Gentlemen, follow me.
Very well.
Okay, are you going to follow the path that you spied?
Yes.
Alright then. Oops, that's not what I wanted.
Thankfully, one of us knows the direction.
Poof!
Ah, darkness. Just kidding.
Quick, kill the Ulrican.
No.
Okay, as y'all are wandering along the path, following the elf, it does not take long before you start to hear voices coming from deeper within the forest.
I thought you were going to say inside my head.
No. We have not reached that point of the campaign yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
I'll make a perception check to see if I can hear what the voices are saying.
I
enough.
still have the turn order counter up.
I will deal with that.
I do as well.
Sure.
I hear nothing.
I will try and perceive what the voice, where the voices are coming from.
I hear nothing.
No.
Anybody get that reference?
I can't do the soul.
I will try.
Mash? Nobody?
Yeah.
There you go.
I will throw
I
a
thought that was
perception check as well.
Oh, that is Hogan's Heroes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or whatever
I
it
will
is.
throw a perception as well.
Okay, Morik. And the
Success.
elf. Dwarf and elf. The superior races. You both, Vivandril, you're actually, I will tell you what you're going to hear in a second because it's not super secretive, so I'm not going to bother typing it. Dwarf, the only thing that you catch is that there seems to be some sort of argument between a few, you hear manlings arguing, and it seems
Wait a
like they're
second.
arguing about spoils.
Why is the dwarf healing something if he and I failed by the same degree?
Oh, I thought he passed. I was looking at something weird. Never mind, Dwarf, you don't hear shit. You hear people arguing, but you can't make out the words. Elf, you hear that you can hear, because you rolled so well, you hear what sounds to be about probably 4 or 5 people arguing about how to divide up their spoils, about how they've been doing lately. But another voice you pick up, which is a bit lower, seems to be more rambling. And he doesn't sound like he's in the best of mental health.
Curious.
Also, you guys do see a cave before you, but the voices are not coming from the cave.
Can I spy what's in the cave?
Would you like to get closer to the cave?
I would.
Then
Yeah,
by
that
all
Cool.
means,
If you get,
get
pulled in,
closer.
I'm not coming in after you.
Wait, can we make a perception check and see if we can see into the cave?
You can try.
No. Close, but no.
If I throw another perception check, am I at a penalty?
No, because it's for something different.
Okay, I'll throw one as well.
So, the dwarf and the elf get a bonus to this because they can see in the
No.
dark?
I can see.
Because you're not in the dark.
Ah, okay.
I can see
The
into
fog
cave.
of war is more for line of sight associated things.
I see.
We can both
Okay,
see into the cave.
so
Yeah.
Merton?
you
see?
both, as you
No.
approach the cave, or dwarf and elf, you immediately become aware of the fact that the cave entrance is covered in massive webs, and I mean massive.
I no longer like this place.
We're not going in there, I think.
Understood.
So, these voices.
Yep, you're the only one who hears the conversation, elf.
Where is it coming from?
It's coming from below you,
Below us.
aka whatever direction south would normally be.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you meant under us, which would have been problematic.
No.
Wait,
Okay.
Manling, I dare you to throw a rock into the cave.
Do it, manling, and you die.
Y'all are
And
close
not
enough, you
necessarily
probably
for me.
shouldn't shout.
Let us try not to get each other killed yet.
I can hear something else.
But you,
Yes,
yeah,
you-
Voices.
All of you hear, the murmuring of voices, but the elf's the only one who can actually make out what's being said.
Yeah, I can hear them too.
Shall
What
we
do you
introduce
know?
ourselves? I say as I ready my hammer and dagger again.
Before you do that, there is something unusual about one of them.
As a side note, Sotek, can I throw my dagger?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. Good to know.
Really wouldn't recommend it, but...
Yeah.
Another silent move towards the voices.
No.
No.
Okay, never mind.
As you step forward, I put my hand out and say, "Let's not try that again, shall we?"
How
What?
much noise can we realistically not make in moving towards these voices and away from the cave?
If you can make a reasonable amount of noise, but because they're arguing, you could probably get pretty close without hurting yourselves.
Let's try and do that then.
Yeah.
If you
Agreed.
get within their line of sight or hearing, just for future reference, you will start having to take checks, like silent move check, and it will roll against their perception. So they might roll bad, or they might roll insanely good and spot you anyway.
No.
At what point should I try for a concealment check?
At any point you want to disappear.
So, shall we move towards the voices then?
Hold on, I can move when I'm disappeared.
Very, very slowly, yes. Like, disgustingly slowly.
We'll try and get in as close as possible for that then.
Okay. So y'all gonna start heading towards them?
Yep.
I'm gonna
Alright.
sheath my sword and pull out the bola.
I'm going to ready my bow.
Okay.
Longbow.
Y'all can
This
approach.
time, Orican.
Y'all can approach within this distance, and because this is a tutorial, as the voices get louder, when you get about here, you're gonna need a silent move. But if you pass that line, you will be able to see them.
Where's
Normally,
the
I
line?
will not tell you that.
Where is the line, sorry?
We don't see the line.
Oh, whoops. I'm on the wrong thing.
Short
That
pause.
line.
Okay.
Squiggly.
Going to move right up and basically take cover behind the tree.
I will attempt to conceal myself now.
Okay, roll a concealment check.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And do not roll a
Concealment.
100. Alright, you fail to consider yourself very well, but you don't completely, like, screw yourself. Alright, if y'all want to move any closer, which would open up line of sight to them, you have to take a silent move check.
I believe I have that skill.
I have that skill too.
I do.
I do have that skill. I'll take it.
Probably for the best.
I will too.
Probably not for the best.
I pass.
Oh,
We
wow.
both
pass.
pass.
Alright, you both pass. Dwarf and Mikhail, you notice the elf and the bounty hunter creeping forward silent as death, and y'all manage to make it into the darkness and see ahead. What you see... One second. I actually have to change something really quick. I have to put them on y'all's layer so that you can see them.
Is initiative related to agility in any way?
Yes, it is exactly related to agility.
It's
I
agility
presume
plus D10.
I presume that I can expect a fairly good one then.
Most of the time, yes.
Yes, good.
Okay, you move forwards, and you two spy 4 men arguing in a circle. And these are clearly brigands. They have pretty filthy armor. They do not look like the healthiest of sorts. One of them is like a borderline hunchback. They're a pretty ugly bunch. And in the back, you see a man resting against a stump, and he has a very, very large, wide-brimmed hat. And he's wearing a leather trench coat, and he seems to be mumbling to himself, and he does not look like he's in the best of mental health.
I'm going to whisper at the thing. See our supposed Templar? I'm whispering
Okay.
at the elf.
Will nod. And what weapon does the Templar have?
He doesn't seem to be holding anything at the moment, but both of his hands are tucked into his jacket.
I see something that could scarcely be described as a Templar.
Does the elf even know what a Templar means?
Vaguely.
Well, I've heard you say it several times now, so I
She
can
could probably
work out.
infer which one of them is the Templar, yes.
Okay.
Although she would probably be amused that y'all use such a word to describe him.
So I'm going to charge in. No,
You're going to discuss a team strategy? No? Okay.
so I'm going to
Tutorial
move back
mode.
behind
This is
the line
normally a
that-
good time to discuss a strategy with your teammates.
The gentleman is not necessarily hostile, but I'm not sure I want to take that chance.
So
We
shall
know
I go
what
for
he-
him?
We know what he could be.
Shall I go for him then?
No, try and kill the others first. Let's chance it.
Well, Elf, they were talking about spoils, yeah?
They were?
If they were from an order of the temples, they would not be splitting up the spoils. They would be using them for their, what's it called?
Crusade.
Campaign, crusade.
If
So
they
obviously
were
they are
from an
not
order
from
of
a temple.
temples, if they were from an order of your temples, they would not be ambushing and assaulting travelers on the roads.
That is correct.
Is that what y'all think? Okay. Y'all are totally not in for an ugly surprise in a future area.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like, a true Templar would not.
I think I will go around the side.
Sorry, I should.
Where's the dwarf?
My last line of dialogue was a question, not.
A true Templar would not, but I would not put it past some of the more radicals.
Your religious practices amuse me.
Their religious practices are not mine, elf.
Your religious practices amuse me.
In any event, all of you do see the dwarf. He whispers something about going around the side, and he vanishes behind a brush.
As he will, then.
Shall I try to put them at ease while he goes around? Side note, Sotek, what does public speaking do?
It allows you to speak to lots of people. Well, a small group of people. If you roll well, you can potentially influence them. If you roll terribly, good luck.
Yeah, I was about to say, could I use it to try and put them at ease as the, basically, like, distract them as the dwarf
You
moves
could try, emphasis on try.
Yeah.
Are you a good speaker, Phil?
I have rather good fellowship.
Is it rolling from fellowship?
Yes.
It does, but depending on what you say, you may get bonuses or negatives.
So you've got 10 seconds to write a speech. Go.
Also, public speaking is a talent, not a skill.
Sure.
What you technically want to do, if you want to buy time, that would specifically be the blather skill.
Oh, right, which I don't have.
Or you may attempt to charm them with the charm skill, or intimidate them with the intimidation skill. Public speaking just lets you use your fellowship rolls, such as intimidation, charm, or blather, to infect multiple people at once. I believe public speaking actually bumps you up to 5.
Okay. Well, intimidation strength, anyways, but...
Well, yes, but it still influences public speaking. Or vice versa.
Have you said in character that you might want to speak to them yet, Phil?
Yeah. It's like, shall I try and distract them for us?
I would rather just kill them. But if you must.
Sotek, what does dwarf see?
You don't really see much. You see the back of the closest guy.
I mean, is there, like, trees in my way?
Oh, right. I forget that you're in the dark. There you go.
Well, that could be obvious.
I can't see
American,
further than
your
that.
thoughts? Ben, are you gonna respond?
Hey,
Wolfman.
let's
I'm
just
waiting.
They're stupid
Okay.
Sigma rights anyways.
In that case, I'm going to charge at the supposed Templar.
Kill the ones closest. Don't attack him unless we have to.
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm going to engage the closest, the Templar.
Okay, so are y'all going to charge into the clearing and fight them, or are you going to walk in? Like, what are you doing? That's not really an RP question. That's more of a literally tell the GM what you're trying to do.
Actually, I think I'm gonna walk in. What about you guys?
I'm gonna throw my bullet at the guy with the big great weapon that
Okay.
hurts a lot,
I will fire
and then
an
draw
arrow
my
at him.
sword.
For the record, none of them are actually wielding great weapons.
Okay, never mind then.
The one with the model of the great weapon, then.
The 3 that have shields are wielding. Let's see, they have hand weapons and swords, hand weapons and shields. And the one in the far back right has a bow on his back, and the one closest to you guys has a cudgel. It's just kind of big, but it's not actually a great weapon.
Yeah.
Is he carrying a shield? Or is it just...
No.
I'll try.
However, there seems to be the glint of metal surrounding the knuckles on one of his hands.
I'm gonna throw my bullet at that guy in the back.
All right. Anyone else going to do something for your surprise round?
I'm going to
fire an arrow at the man with the cudgel.
Okay.
charge the guy in the back because I don't like how he's hiding his hands.
Note,
You realize that you could very easily be surrounded if you do that.
Mikhail, if you do try to charge through the clearing, it is very likely you will be attacked 4 times before you even get to him.
I would
In
charge
that
the
case-
closest guy.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. Okay, I will charge the closest guy.
Okay, so that
I'm-
guy's just getting triple fucked right now. Okay?
I'm firing at him. Am I at any
Oh.
penalty?
No.
Alright, so...
Maybe we shouldn't all attack the same dude.
Well, I mean, insurance, I guess.
Merton, maybe you should try and boss the guy in the back.
That's what I'm getting.
Oh.
I thought you said the guy with the cudgel.
No, I said the guy
I'm
in the back
firing
with
at
the
the guy
gleam
with
of
the
things
cudgel.
on his fingers.
That's the guy.
That is the guy with the cudgel.
What is our dwarf doing?
The guy in the very, very back is the Templar, or the Witch Hunter, and he has both of his hands in his jacket.
Alright, I'll go after the Witch Hunter then.
Okay.
The dwarf
That's
is
it,
going
that's-
around.
Attacking the witch hunter is not necessary at this stage, remember.
Well, that would entangle him. It doesn't actually do damage.
Actually, it does.
Well, it does do damage. It's very minimal damage. It's, like, hilariously bad.
Note: the Templars of Sigmar are fond of pistols.
This is not a Templar.
Foul.
Okay.
Technically, that would be metagaming. Don't do that in
No.
the future.
Sorry.
Your character is not a knowledge bookworm on all the other orders. He knows about
Well,
war rights, and that's about it.
We'll treat that as dialogue then, shall we?
In any event,
Since I responded to it as such.
yeah, I'll put it this way. If you ever find yourself tempted to say something lore-wise that you're tempted to say as yourself, it's probably not a good idea.
Okay. I just thought that since a lot of people hear stories about witch hunters, that would probably be common knowledge.
Maybe, but it's more of a maybe. Not many
okay.
people engage with them.
I say we don't attack witch hunter. This has to be the final round of discussion because we've been doing this for about 5
Yeah,
minutes
literally,
now.
I'm giving you guys 10
Okay.
more seconds.
I'm charging the guy closest.
Dwarf is going around.
I'll get one
Dwarf,
of the
are
guys
you
in the
charging
back.
or are you walking?
I am walking.
Okay, so Dwarf is not engaging on his surprise turn. Duly noted.
I'm firing an arrow at the guy with guns.
Alright, ready, set, go. Alright, Meriton, you're first on the surprise round.
Hitting the guy pinged with the bola.
Okay,
Success.
you do indeed hit him.
Okay, so who's next?
Alright,
6
hold on a
damage.
second. 6 damage with the bola. Let me turn to its relevant page real quick.
That is with the +1.
Bola. Okay, yeah, it only does 1 damage, which is very, very little. Alright, so, when the bola hits him, let's see, it's an entangling weapon, so I need to look up that real quick.
Doesn't he need a strength check to be able to move after this?
That's why I'm checking. Or has the snare quality. Okay. So, so this successfully hits him. And okay, he's trapped until he passes an agility check.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, he has to make an agility check right now. Never mind. So he makes an agility check. He fails horribly, so he's entangled, and he cannot move until he passes either a agility check or a strength check. It's his choice, and until he breaks free, you all are at a plus 20% bonus to hit him with any sort of weapon.
Okay. So I charge.
Yep, and I'm gonna make a red dot on so I know which one it is. That guy.
That guy.
No, I charge.
Okay.
And
I fire at the same guy.
Okay. Well, let's do Mikhail first.
Yes.
so charge attack. I'm not aiming. Attack.
Oh wait, you said you're firing an arrow at the same guy?
I'm firing an arrow at the guy with the cudgel.
Okay, never mind. You go first then.
Oh,
Foul, you're
okay.
keeping the roll though.
Fair enough.
Okay. Where are we? D100?
Yep.
I don't suppose I can aim a charge attack.
I've missed by a point.
Do you want to lie and say you were aiming?
Yes.
Okay, good job. All right, you hit him. I'm only nice because of the tutorial session. After the tutorial session, if you do not declare something and your turn ends, you're fucked. I'm just gonna make that really straightforward
Fair
now.
enough.
It's a 5.
All right, so 8 damage to the foot pad. So let's see. You hit him, In the 34, which is the right arm. No. Yes.
Another arm shot.
Always the arms.
And he
The right
takes...
arm might be of use, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. You hit him in the right arm. And you
Yeah,
did how much damage?
Always go face. Or we always go
8.
arms.
8 damage. Nice. Okay, you hit him decently hard. The arrow whistles through the air and slams into his right arm, and he cries out in pain. And he turns and he looks more angry than anything else.
Okay.
Okay,
Foul.
so I charge in, swing, and miss.
Okay,
But I have my dagger out still.
dwarf, do whatever you're gonna do.
Do I see anything further?
All right.
Is there a way around?
No,
Oh, of course not.
that's what you get for trying to be sneaky.
Dwarf, don't attack the wizard.
What?
I know I just called him a wizard.
It's okay.
That was intentional. No, that was intentional.
I will be nice and count that as a regular move. Would you like to swing at that guy?
Okay.
In the future, dwarf, leave the fancy maneuvering up to the faster people.
Yeah. Plus 10. Okay,
Nope.
never mind.
Nope. Okay,
I draw
now...
my sword with my other half axe.
Oh yeah, Meriton, I forgot about you. Oh wait, never mind. You draw your sword. Okay, fine. Alright, roll initiative.
I have 43.
Slow.
I have a 43.
Okay,
We're simultaneous.
Okay, so the elf has a 43. Morik, what'd you get?
29.
Welcome to Dwarfland. Who am I missing? Merton, what'd you get?
40.
40.
Very fast. Okay, and then the regular bandits get a 43.
Uh-oh.
And the big one gets a 36.
I like that roll better.
And the witch hunter gets a 50.
The speedy bastard.
Okay, and then I reorder these. Why can I not... Oh, crap. Why don't I have the function I need? No, don't wig out on me. It's totally wigging out on me. Great. Well, that's fine. I'm a smart man. I can figure it out. Actually, I can just reorder it.
So, what am I on now?
You're tied with me for second.
There we go. Actually, yeah, y'all are tied with the bandit as well. Okay, so the witch hunter. You all run into the party, and he deliriously stands up, and his eyes are wide, and he goes, "Servants of the One Eye, kill them all!" and pulls out 2 pistols. First person he's going to aim for is... Mikhail.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, Meriton.
Alright.
Meriton, he aims with you and pulls the trigger. He misses. And then he aims and pulls the other trigger.
I have shield, so plus 10 for my defense, or to his attack.
That is correct. It's minus 10% for him to hit you. Because you have a shield to hide behind. Despite that, he still hits you with his pistol. And he hits you in the... He hits you in the left arm. And he does...
Lots.
Not as much as you may think. Let's see.
So I don't think that bullshit with the wolf was in your favor somehow.
Oh, he gets to roll twice for damage because it has impact. Yay. Oh, shit.
Ulrich, traitor.
So, the bullet... So, this is what we call a critical hit.
What?
When a critical hit happens in Warhammer Tabletop, is when you roll a nat 10 for damage. Then what you do is you roll again, like I'm doing now, and compare it against the stat you needed to hit, which this guy misses with the second. So he doesn't continue rolling for
Thank
damage.
God. Thank you, Ulrich.
That being said, he will do 14 damage to your right arm.
Yeah, that's gonna...
Do you have that many hit points?
Nope, I
No.
go to 0 and something bad happens, I think.
Okay, well, how much health do you have?
I have 6.
You should have 7, because you got +1 for healing, right?
7, and then I have 4 reduction.
Okay, so you have 1 armor and then 3 toughness bonus?
Yes.
Okay, so that reduces that down to an 11.
I thought it'd be 10 with 14.
It'd be 10.
Oh, right, it'd be 10. All right, so you take 10 damage, so minus 10, and that's going to put you at -3. So, now you roll on the critical hit table. And we see if I have unfortunately overplanned and accidentally killed one of my characters the first fight.
Yay, tutorial
Third
mode.
fight.
Well, first session.
Right.
That being said, you'll probably survive, because fate points are a thing. But let this be a lesson to you all that this game is
As a
exceedingly
side
dangerous.
note, we permanently lose a fate point if we use it, correct?
Yes, if you use a fate point, it's gone forever.
Yeah, so that permanently reduces the number of fortune points you get.
Okay. Mr. Merton, please roll a D100. And pray to whatever god you believe in.
Are we going for high or low rolls?
Ulrich.
A 29. Actually, you want to go for high on these. A 29, and you are 3 wounds below 0. Oh, dear. This was your arm.
Ulrich clearly was not amused with your shtick where you took advantage of someone else's attacks.
This is what will happen if you do not fate point, okay?
Okay.
If you do not fate point, your arm will be obliterated into a dangling mass of bloody meat.
Yeah, I can't fix that.
Anything that you're holding in that hand except for a shield, which your right hand is your dominant hand, unfortunately, so that would be your sword, would immediately drop to the ground, and until you receive medical attention every turn, so every 10 seconds, you have to roll a D100, and if you roll a 20 or lower, you die instantly.
Okay.
I think I'll use the fate point.
Okay,
User joined your channel.
so subtract a fate point, and instead what happens is the bullet comes soaring through the air. Ulrich hears your plea, apparently, and angles the shot, so it does indeed impact your arm, and you hear, and you feel agonizing pain. You drop your sword, you get thrown to the ground, but your arm is still intact. And with some healing, you should be able to use it again, but right now it's gone numb.
At this point, I'm going to curse and say, cover me.
You don't need to do that. There is another option.
It is now Mikhail's turn.
Can I disengage and run to Merton?
Disengaging is full action, but you may move and risk
Yeah.
being hit.
I can move to Merton. And then, is healing a full action?
No, it's a half action.
Okay.
Okay, so the bandit's going to swing at you, but he is at minus 10% because of the dwarf, and he hits you.
Okay, but I have a dagger.
Parry. Yep.
Nope.
Ooh, he does... Let's see, I rolled a... So, he hits you in the body.
Wait a sec, this is not a great weapon, correct?
That is not a great weapon,
Okay.
correct.
I was about to say, because don't that give like plus 12?
He hits you in the body for 11 damage.
That will actually probably take me out, too.
When I said that there was another option,
You have 14
I did mean
points
that
to
there was
parry.
another option.
You still
Because
have
I
a
have-
14
I have-
point.
Huh?
Do you have any fate
Because you
points
probably
left?
should use it.
Yeah, I have a fate point, so I guess I have to use it.
That being said, what's your health at?
7.
And you did that after subtracting your toughness bonus from it?
So I got hit for 11, right?
Yes.
So minus 3, so that's at 10. No, that's at 8, so I would be at -1.
Okay, so roll a d100. And you want to roll high.
$40.
40. A 1, so that's a 4. let me turn to this table.
When I said there was another option, I didn't mean there was another option. You didn't have to disengage. I could have just gone in with
You are struck in the groin.
Oh god.
You may not take an action for a single. So for 1 round, you may not take any actions.
Okay.
So you're done.
Okay. Well, my guy's celibate anyways, so.
Well, you're not.
I know.
No, it's not like.
Vivandril, it's your turn.
Oh god. I will ready my great weapon and then.
As a side note, did we have to go with me then, Izzy, or
Yes.
because we were simultaneous?
Yeah, but alphabetically you're ahead, so.
I was posing that question to Sotek.
Go easy.
What? It's whatever. Vivandril, you're next.
I will ready my great weapon and then I will. A charge is a full move, isn't it?
Yes.
Full action. And then I will move to engage the man with the cudgel.
Okay.
Because, frankly, someone needs to kill him. So, I can't do this as an aim strike. D100 to hit?
Wait, you readied your weapon and then moved?
Yeah.
Those are 2.
Yeah, that's all you can do then.
Yeah, but I
Because
can't.
you had your bow out prior.
Yeah. So I readied the thing and then I moved into combat with this guy.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
2
You
half
can't
actions.
swing though. That's 2
Yeah,
actions.
Sure. Okay. Dwarf, it's on you.
Okay, it is now the bandit's turn. The one who's tangled up is still tangled up. This one moves forward to engage the elf. And, oh my lord. So he moves forward to engage the elf, trips, and face plants hard in the dirt. And he's going to be out of action for 1 turn.
Am I blessed by fucking Sigmar or something?
Maybe. And the final bandit will move in as well, because he doesn't consider the 2 guys lying on the ground prone to be much of a threat. He misses. It is now Merton's turn.
I must be.
Sure. No, he has to take a check.
Well, no, because he fate pointed.
When is
Oh,
my
okay.
turn?
You're
You're at the end,
So,
Morik.
Wait, so if I didn't fate point, I got hit in the groin, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Got it.
Oh, wait, no, don't use a fate point.
Oh, okay, so
Only use a fate point if you die, if you are in a death or life or
Okay.
death situation. That was what your critical hit was. Some of the
Oh,
critical
okay.
hits aren't actually that bad.
okay, fair enough. So I didn't use a fate point. Good to know.
Yeah. Merton, it's your turn. I would suggest you do something.
Merton will grab his sword. Does that take a half action?
Oh, wait a minute. Merton's not injured?
No, he's most certainly injured. Your right arm is numb.
Oh.
So I
I
can't
see. I
hold
was acting under the
anything.
principle that he had, like, I misunderstood
No,
your whole.
that's why he fate pointed.
Merton,
nice.
Merton, you dumbass, get into combat with me.
So,
You may grab the sword with your left hand and fight one-handed,
No, keep the shield, keep the shield. Christ, keep the shield.
or you can just be a body so that people aren't getting surrounded.
Yeah, I need you for that, please, hurry.
Merton will stand up.
I'm moving you off to the side a little bit, Foul. That way it's not so fucking cluttered.
see, I have to say I misunderstood what happened to Merton.
Well, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
You
So
will
he's
find no
already
sympathy
disabled,
from
though,
me.
Correct?
Yes, he is not dying.
Oh, okay.
If you get to him, you may restore function to his arm during the combat.
Oh, okay.
But until you do so, his arm is numb.
Can I hold the sword but not use it?
No, you cannot feel your arm.
I will step forward. I can't really do anything if I step forward, can I?
Yes,
You can shield bash him.
Get
Yeah.
into combat with that guy. I need you to stop me dying.
Alright, yeah, I'll try to shield
You
bash.
haven't even been hit
Okay,
yet.
swing. You get plus 10%.
No, I haven't been hit yet.
'Cause
but
he's
this could
surrounded?
change.
That's a miss.
Okay. Next is the cudgel guy. He's going to swing for the dwarf.
He's at minus 20, isn't he?
No, because he's not surrounded.
Alright. We've got
The
a
guy
bit
on the
of
right is
backup.
surrounded, but he is
Right,
not.
Cool.
Let's see. He hits, barely. Dwarf, you don't have any way to parry, correct?
Besides the parry stance now.
Okay, he will hit you in the right arm
All arms, all day.
for 9 damage.
So 5 damage.
Okay, it is now Morik's turn.
I remember
Nice,
the guy
swing
facing you
back.
was damaged.
Swing back and parry stance.
Okay. Swing away.
I will fortune point.
Okay.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, never mind.
I hit.
Okay, you hit him. Roll damage.
Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow.
11.
You better.
11.
You may well have killed him.
11 damage. And where
He'd
did you hit him?
already He'd already taken something. Isn't that a headshot?
That's a headshot.
That is a headshot. All right, you hit him in the head. Let's see.
This may well kill him. Well done.
You hit him in the head, and you did 11 damage, you said?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, he smacks you in the arm, and frustrated and swearing in Khazalid, you step forward and you just bury your axe in his face. And he goes down in a bloody mess.
Fucking beautiful.
So move forward to engage the other guys since you don't need a parry anymore.
Or, you know, keep up your parry stance because more are coming.
Yeah, I'm keeping up my parry stance.
One more is coming. Yes.
No, 2 more if the guy gets unentangled.
Okay, it is now the Witch Hunter's turn. He sits back down and mumbling to himself, apparently in abject terror, and shaking horribly, he starts trying to reload one of his pistols. Mikhail, it's your turn.
I am stunned.
Okay, you recover at the end of this turn.
Yep.
The Vandal.
I will try and aimed attack at the guy who is surrounded.
Okay, you get plus 20%.
Yay. D100.
Yep.
Plus
Plus 20?
Plus 20, so miss.
Okay. The bandit's turn. The one who's surrounded is going to swing at the elf. He swings, and the elf, and an expert reposit, slaps his sword right fucking out of his hands, and he suddenly is in a not great position.
Okay, can I declare myself MVP at this point?
It had nothing to do with you. The next one is going to run forward, screaming to engage the dwarf, shouting something, but because he's so unintelligent, his speech impediment is pretty awful, and you have no idea what he's saying. He hits the dwarf. Wow. Soundly, I might add. Parry stance, dwarf.
Yep.
Nope. And he will hit you in the body for 7 damage.
3 damage.
So blade manages to pierce your armor and relatively thick hide. And the final guy is going to try and break out of that thing. Actually, he's going to try and worm his way out with an agility check. And he does! He manages to get out, and he starts reaching for his bow.
Get up and then fight, manlings.
I thought it was the other guy who had the bow.
No, all of them
one
have
is
bows.
Oh, right.
The guy with the cudgel did not have one. He was the
Oh, right.
one exception.
Fair enough.
Okay, it is now Merton's turn.
I've lost
Yeah,
the turn order.
Turn order is gone.
Oh, whoops. There you go.
Thank you.
It's kind of useful.
Oh, yay, it fixed itself. I should have done that in the first place.
It was fixed before it went missing.
No,
Oh,
you don't.
okay.
You don't understand how I
Oh, yeah,
navigate
no,
it.
it is.
Burton will
Shield bash. Come on.
shield bash, yeah.
Okay, swing away. You get plus 10%.
Hits with
Yeah.
plus 10%.
Okay, it's damage minus 4. You do no damage.
So,
Oh wait! Your strength 3 plus 4. No, you do 3 damage. You do a little bit,
No, shield
which
is
actually won't get
-2,
past his
not
toughness.
4.
Oh, shields are minus 2.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. So you do 5 damage, and you hit him in the 74, which is the body.
Yeah.
Let me see what he's got for armor. Yeah, that does nothing. You slam your shield into him, and he sort of is buffed back a little bit, but he doesn't seem to outwardly take any damage. Morik, you're up.
You're in direct combat with this guy, aren't you?
Yep. Because he attacked me.
Yeah.
Sure, you took a little damage.
So roll.
You hit.
Okay, so you hit him. He will attempt to parry, and he fails.
5.
So 5 damage.
5, and you hit him in the 54, which is the body. Okay, your axe barely cleaves into his armor. Barely. It's like a paper scratch.
Okay.
More
Okay.
painful than actually dangerous. The Witch Hunter continues reloading.
Okay, I'm back up.
Yep.
I'm gonna grab Merton's sword and try to kill his arm.
Okay.
So his heal check.
Yep.
Aha.
Very nice. Because, now, if you use a healing poultice because he's severely wounded, he
I don't have
recovers 1d10.
I don't have those yet.
Right. Then he recovers a single wound.
Okay.
But his arm is functioning now.
Take this.
Good. Let's
Shove
go.
his sword back into his hand.
All right, you have been stabilized, Mikhail.
All right, Merton.
Whatever.
What is that? That was all. Was that a half action or a full action?
That's a half action.
Okay, and then I will run forward and get re-engaged.
Okay. You're not going to fit that way.
Yeah.
Go around the other way.
So that guy's in some trouble now.
Okay.
Can I run engage the guy in the back?
If you really want to.
You might risk getting hit again, dude.
The Vandril, you're up.
Would I? Sotek.
What?
Would I get hit if I ran around and engaged the guy in the back?
No, but if he hits you, you will probably die.
Okay, then I will engage. Well, he has his bow out though.
He's getting his bow out, yes, but still, I wouldn't
Yeah,
risk
fair
it.
enough.
The Vandril.
We'll go for an aim strike on him.
Okay.
So plus 20 to hit, or because he's surrounded twice.
Plus 30, because he's aiming.
Yep.
Oh,
Nice.
That hits.
Oh, wow.
He parries it, though.
Ah.
All right. The bandit's turn. The one that's completely surrounded is going to try and attack the elf, because she's the one that he's actually really scared of. He misses horribly. The dwarf,
I thought he
miss
didn't have his weapon
horribly.
anymore.
And the one with the bow is going to aim at the nearest
Yes,
target.
the man who is surrounded has lost his weapon.
That's right. Well, he's trying to punch people then. And the archer misses terribly.
Okay.
Morik, or actually Merton. Merton's up next.
So I have a question.
What?
If I move, but I don't move out of combat connection with the
That's
person
fine.
with the fist,
That's
does
fine.
he get an attack?
No, you're fine. If you move, but you do not move out of combat, you're fine. That, no. Because you have to move, like, through bodies. There's not a reasonable
Okay.
amount of space for you to do that. That being said, you should probably pick up your sword.
I handed it to him though.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah. He has his sword.
You should probably stab someone then.
Stab
Alright,
them,
I will
manling.
stab someone.
Okay, you get plus
Didn't
20.
fix that arm just so you could stand around and wave it.
Nice,
Yes.
and he can't parry because he already tried.
That's a 10.
11.
Yeah, strike
Very
mighty
nice. 11, and you hit him in the 70, which is the
Body.
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 Let's see. So you did 11.
blow. A good shank.
All right, you slam your sword pretty heavily, almost up to the hilt in his side. And as you rip your sword back out, he's still standing, but he's bleeding pretty heavily. Morgrick, you're up. Morik. Sorry, I turned you into a goblin temporarily.
In the book.
You are at plus 10%.
So I hit.
Okay. And he cannot parry because he doesn't have a hand weapon.
So another 10.
Another 10. Okay, and you hit him in the 94, which is one of his legs.
His left leg, I think it is. Yeah.
Yep. Which, lucky for you, he has no armor there.
Yeah.
So 11.
Wait, on a D10 is the lowest result 1.
Yes. A 0 is a crit.
A 0 is a 10. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, you hit him pretty fucking hard in that leg, and you hear his knee, like, pop really audibly. And he goes down screaming for a second, but manages to limp back to his feet.
Kneecaps are dwarf-sized.
The Witch Hunter sets down the loaded pistol and starts reloading the other pistol. While still mumbling to himself, and he sounds really upset. Mikhail, you're up.
I'm going to aim at the guy, so I'm at plus 30 to hit.
If you aim, yes.
Yep.
Okay, he cannot try and parry.
5.
And you hit him in the 53, which is the body.
Yes. No, it's not. It's left arm.
Oh, left arm.
Yep.
Yeah, still. You swing your hammer into him, and he sort of manages to twitch aside. Like, you hit him, and it hurts him, but, you know. Vivandrel, you're up.
How much armor does this guy have?
Not that much. That was just a really shitty roll.
Well, I did 5 damage, though.
Yeah, it's almost like all humans have a toughness bonus of 3, Val.
Oh, right, true.
Same deal as last time.
Okay. Plus 30.
Smacked him.
Okay, he can't parry.
Okay. Got a 7.
Roll again?
Reroll, don't I?
Yeah. Well, you don't re-roll, you just roll twice.
Oh, wow. I think I
He's
killed
dead.
him.
Yeah. So as he's too busy trying to avoid the hammer from Mikhail, you bring your axe swinging overhead and cleave his leg straight off. Like, there's a horrible crack, and you manage to just nail it where his leg thigh bone connects to his knee, so it just severs through it really cleanly, and he goes down screaming and bleeds out.
Authority is watching us. She smiles at me.
All right, bandits. The one who lost his sword is going to pick it up. And this final one is going to hastily reload his bow and fire it at Vivandrel, because fuck that shit.
Watch this kill.
He hits amazingly. And he hits you in the right arm and does 10 damage.
Wow. So, talk me through toughness bonuses.
So, your toughness bonus is basically the tens place of your toughness. So if your toughness 30 blah, then your toughness 3.
Yeah, toughness 3.
So, because he hit you in the arm, subtract the 3 from the 10 damage, that's 7 damage. And then if you have
7.
any armor...
I am wearing a leather jack.
Okay, so consult your armor table, and do you have armor on your arms?
I believe it covers arms.
I think it's a 1 for the arms.
Yeah, I think it's arms and body.
Okay, it should say it pretty plainly.
Figuring out. Find the. I was looking at
If you scroll up near the top where it says defenses, it has all that marked.
1 for the arms.
Okay, great. So you subtract another 1 off, so you take 6 wounds total.
Okay.
So just click on your character, click on the red circle, and type in -6.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. Actually, we'll do it at the end of the combat. We'll do it at the end.
What?
Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's it for the bandits. Merton, you're up.
How close does it look like the witch hunter is getting to reloading his?
He's getting pretty close.
Charge.
I will die if I charge.
I would maybe recommend... Okay, so once again, GM advice. It may be possible to convince the witch hunter not to fight, but you probably have to deal with the nefarious bandits first.
Probably. I've been saying this for a little while now. In any case.
But the witch hunter does not seem like he's in a very good state of mind, so it may be possible to get him to think of y'all as not maybe his enemies.
Merton will move up to there. Because that should put him in combat with both of those bandits, right?
Yes, that's fine.
Then
Technically, you can only engage one, but that's fine.
Okay. Well,
Which one do you want to stab?
Kill the one fighting the dwarf.
If you kill the one fighting me, I can charge the frickin' Templar.
No, engage the other guy, and then I'll try and talk to the Templar.
Well, I was just thinking I could go total defense, and then has
Why-
minus
Ah.
50 to hit me.
Can we deal with the Templar when the other bandits are dead? That
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
like
that's
the
my-
safest.
Meriton, shank someone now.
Shank
Alright,
the one
I'll-
by the dwarf.
I'll try to hit the one by the dwarf then.
Okay, swing.
Hear it.
You get plus 20. Actually, no, plus 10 because you're kind of surrounded yourself.
Yep. Yeah.
No. What's your weapon skill?
42.
Yeah, no.
Is Vivandro in contact with that bandit?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Hey, Sotek, is this something that I would know as common knowledge? That's all
do I
you have to
yell this
ask.
out- do I have to yell this out on my turn, or do I yell this
No,
out?
no, you can ask me that at any point.
No, I meant like, can my guy yell this out?
Oh, yeah, no, that has to happen during your turn.
Okay. Well, no one
So-
die until I can yell this out at him.
No promises.
Meriton, did you shank that guy?
Looks like no.
Well, you had
Not
plus...
with only a plus 10, but if the
You
dwarf
had, you had
and the
plus
elf
20.
one-
Oh, right, because you were surrounded on the backside. Because you got... Yeah, see, that's why we don't get into contact with multiple enemies.
I'm not
Well-
I'm not in contact with this guy, the dwarf.
Long story short, you missed. Morik, you're up.
Yep, I'm back. Alright.
Good timing.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Right, kill him, please. Crap.
Kill him, and then no one
You
dies.
are at plus 10%.
which
Did
is
you
still...
aim?
Yes.
Yes.
has
He does
my
not
points.
parry. Roll
Kill,
damage.
Kill.
Come on. Come on, dwarf. Yeah!
I could kiss you, dwarf.
Roll to hit again.
To hit again?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or to damage
You
again?
no, you crit, so roll to hit again.
D100.
No, okay. So, but you do maximum damage. So you step up as this guy picks up his sword, and he
he's
looks at
limping.
you, and he has this horrible feeling that something terrible is about to happen to him. And as he steps forward to confront you, you casually duck under his sword, swing around, and bring your axe in an up-cleaving arc that just shears through his right leg at the hip. And he go down screaming, and quite casually, you toss your axe to your other hand, slam it down on his throat, and silence his screaming.
Like a badass.
Do that again, dwarf.
Which, if you haven't figured it out, if y'all roll crits, I give more cinematic kill
Yeah.
shots.
Yes.
Okay,
But the trick
it is
no one
now the Witch Hunter's turn. He finishes reloading his second pistol. It is now Mikhail's turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna yell at the Witch Hunter. Witch Hunter, help us! It is your duty to defend people of the Empire and dwarves.
He seems to frown for... Actually, take a fellowship check. Oof.
D100, is that?
Yeah, that's a D100.
Ah, can I have one fortune point left.
Feel free to use it.
Oh. Oh my god.
What's your fellowship?
30.
How unfortunate for you.
Oh, come
You yell out to him what you said, and he glares up to you. And he looks at your dark robes and the fact that he can't see your face, and he says, "I know a chaos cultist when I see it. You're a servant of the One Eye. I know it." And he aims his pistols at you.
Lovely.
Vivandrel, it's your turn.
Didn't he shout servants of the one I attack?
Yeah.
Earlier?
When we
No,
attack.
he shouted servants of the One Eye, comma, attack.
Oh, right, he thinks we're
He wasn't calling himself a servant of the One Eye. He was saying you are servants of the One Eye.
I thought he was talking to his bandits. Fair enough. I'm going to charge this guy, who I think is in combat with Ben.
Yes.
Right, I'm gonna
You cannot charge
that
him, though. You have to move and attack.
guy. Alright, fine, I'll move an... Can I move an aim attack, or no?
No, that would be 3 half actions.
Move an attack.
Okay.
So, that might keep Ben
Oh,
alive for a
that
while.
reminds me. There is a handy other thing you can do in this game, which is a delay. You can delay a half action, which puts away a half action until any point until your next turn. So, for instance, if you're an archer and you're waiting for someone to walk into view or something, you can do
So
a
it's like
delayed
Warhammer?
action. Yes, and you can attack at any point. Like, you can interrupt somebody's turn. So, like, if Evandrel were to load her arrow or her bow and someone came running around the corner to charge the dwarf, she could shoot him when he charges to try and interrupt.
So, side note, was that me yelling at him a full action?
No. That would, I guess, be a half action.
Okay,
Okay, well,
I'm
let's kill
going
this other
to.
bandit then.
I'm gonna
It's-
move back so I'm hiding behind a tree so I don't get shot.
Fair enough. Vivandrel, swing.
Actually, no, wait, no, I'm gonna move engage because my guy's crazy like that.
Well, and being in combat gives you a minus 20% penalty to be hit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy is now going to have one hell of a time killing any of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, D100. Regular attack.
Okay. Plus 20.
Plus 20.
Yep. Roll.
He's surrounded
Two
like
guys.
crazy.
Alright, yes, good. Fuck.
No. Meriton, you're up.
What about the bandit?
His turn. Oh, that's right, because I killed that bandit. Yeah, it's the bandit's turn. Bandit is going to swing at Meriton. Or actually, wait, he's going to pull out his weapons, which is a full action. He's
Okay.
going to pull out his shield and hand weapon.
Alright.
Meriton, you're up.
I will turn to face the bandit.
Okay, that's free.
That's free. Attack. Aim.
I will
We have to
look
move.
at the witch hunter and say, "What is this one-eyed thing? What is this one-eyed thing you are talking of? You are the bandit stealing the goods heading toward None."
Take a fellowship check.
I
Bugger.
fail.
How many degrees, though?
1.
No, that's left over.
So for every full 10 points, it's 1 degree.
Yeah, so it's 1.
So 31. I have 2 points of failure.
Okay.
Oh.
Why are you listed as 42?
Yeah, I'm not
So-
sure.
That's my weapon skill. I didn't change the advanced dice roller.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Alright.
All right. So as long as you're checking it, that's fine. Okay. So when you say that, he actually seems to like stop his rambling for a moment, and he seems to look around and says, "We're not bandits. They told me that they are members of the church, and they are here to help me hunt the one-eye. They are here to help me." But he seems somewhat confused. You have another half action.
I will hold. That's the one, right?
Yep. Delay.
Delay. I will delay.
Okay. Lorik, your turn.
Anytime.
Can I yell?
alright.
So can I yell at my teammates prior
No.
to? Okay.
So I am very.
Once you're in battle, you get your 10 seconds, and that's it.
Okay, fair enough.
I kind of have to go after the Templar.
Or you could talk to him. Or you could engage him to stop him from shooting. That's also an acceptable option.
Oi,
Please do that.
manling!
Please do that.
Oh, this is actually a good time to talk about another special rule that exists in this game. Grappling. So, if there is someone that you are trying to deal with, but you don't necessarily want to kill them, or if there's somebody really big and scary and you want to hold them still so other people can kill them, you can do what's called a grapple. And a
Oh,
grapple
yes.
is pretty straightforward. You
Strength
run up
combat.
to them and roll to hit them as normal, and then you and them roll an opposed strength check, which is you trying to restrain them. If you succeed, you're both basically locked in a wrestling match and they can't do anything. Well, neither can you. But neither of you can do anything until they break free. Though, if you are grappling someone, you can basically like try and squeeze them or smack their head against the ground for some pretty low damage. You can do something, but they can't do anything until they break free.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds something I would do.
Okay, I will allow you to charge him. So you get plus 10% to hit. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
nimbly do-
last fortune point.
I thought you already used your last
I have,
fortune point.
Nope, I had 3. I used 2.
I will believe you in this instance, though in the future I will be keeping track of these things. Roll again. Plus 10%?
Yep.
So, miss?
So I would have, with 10%, I would have got a 56. I have a 56.
Okay, so you hit him.
Yes.
All right, so you grab a hold of him, and now we roll the opposed check as you two struggle against one another. Let's see, grappling.
If it's a strength check, that's a D100, surely.
Yes.
Very
Oh,
good.
actually, wait. So you hit him, so now he makes an agility check to try and dodge you,
Oh, okay.
which he succeeds, so he avoids your blow.
Son of a bitch.
But you are
Speaking
engaged.
of which, it is his turn.
But he's
Uh,
engaged.
Yes, and he's actually pretty confused, so he aims his pistol at the dwarf, but he's not going to fire yet. He will delay.
Do I
Okay.
look like a one-eyed servant, you daffy bastard?
It's not your turn. Mikhail.
I'm going to rip my hood back, hold up my symbol of war, and yell at him again. Sigmar, would you really aim your weapon at a dwarf? One of the alliance between Sigmar and Kurgan.
Roll a fellowship check.
Yep.
Ooh.
Success to me.
That is.
Ooh, and he rolled pretty bad on his opposed willpower check. Okay, as you shout that, he seems to focus a little bit more intently on the dwarf and seems to take into account the fact that he's having to aim mostly down. And he pauses for a moment. He says, No, this isn't right. A dwarf couldn't possibly... And he sort of lowers his pistols and sits down. Vivandril, it's your turn.
Aim
Don't I
strike
get
at
a
the
half
band.
action?
Can I
Who
use
spent
my
their turn
weapon?
ripping off their masks and stuff?
Sure.
Aim strike at the bandit.
Okay. Plus 30. Or actually plus 20.
Aimed plus 2 people surrounding him.
Fucking hell.
No. Merton.
Bandit.
Kill bandit.
Could I
All right, the bandit.
intimidate
So the bandit sees the witch hunter sitting down and yells at him, "Sir, don't you remember your promise? We have to kill these heathens." And he's going to roll a fellowship check. And then he rolls a willpower check. The witch hunter sort of glances at him for a moment, pulls up his pistol, aims it at all 4 of y'all's general direction. It's hard to tell who he's actually aiming at, and he fires. That's going to hurt.
Who he hit?
See, he's gonna do how much damage? Okay, and okay. Let's see. That's gonna be that. All right. He pulls up his pistol, gives an annoyed look in all of y'all's direction, and pulls the trigger and fires it, and it slams into the back of the bandit. And he stumbles and goes down, but he's still breathing.
Can I use my delayed action?
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to intimidate the bandit.
Okay.
See, Ulrich does not bless your foul venture. Admit your wrongdoing to the good Templar, and maybe you shall live for a little bit longer.
Interesting. Roll a intimidation check. Ooh. Oh, how many degrees did you pass by?
1, I believe.
He seems to consider for your proposal for a moment as he's bleeding and start trying to get back up, and he scowls and spits on your shoe.
Then die.
And
I
it's
will
now.
hit him.
Morik, you're up.
Is that a full round?
Oh, sorry, no, that was half action. Oh wait, sorry, it's your actual turn now.
No, yeah.
So you can try and do. You can even try and do that again, or you can try and do something different.
If I try that again, do I still get to hit him afterwards?
Intimidation's a half action, so yes, you could theoretically stab him afterwards.
I'll
But
try
if
that
you're going to intimidate him again, I would suggest trying a different intimidation tactic.
then.
And by that I mean just don't copy pasta what you just did, or else it'll have no effect.
Well, if you wish to die, I can kill you now.
That's the most intimidating thing you can think of?
In 10 seconds, yeah.
Here's the thing. So intimidation isn't just words, it's actions as well. So if you were to, like, I don't know, position your sword at his throat while saying that, it might have a little bit more of a profound effect.
Yes, I will put my sword at his throat since he's surrounded.
Very well. Roll your intimidation check, and there is a bonus. Okay.
So 2 degrees of failure.
Yeah. Okay. He starts whimpering and sinks down into the ground and says, "Fine, fine. I'll tell him. I'll tell him. Just please don't kill me."
Very well, then. Tell him.
He sort of sheepishly looks in the witch hunter's direction. He says, We're just common bandits, sir. I know you said something, but we knew you were just daft mad, and we figured, it was for... We're servants of Sigmar, and it's not technically against the rules if we, I don't know, perhaps alleviate some of his other servants to help our... And while he's mid-sentence on the other word, the witch hunter aims his other pistol and blows his head off.
Nice shot,
Right.
Templar.
I think at this point we have to decide who will jump on the Witch Hunter until he's grappled.
No.
The Witch Hunter sits down heavily and drops both of his pistols on the ground and holds his head in his hands.
More quickly kicks the pistols away.
Just, we don't need these.
I'm going to step over the,
You're going to step ogre?
over the body and walk to the
Prepare
Witch
for
Hunter
my ogre
again.
step! My special attack.
I'm gonna step over the body and say, walk to the Templar, putting my weapons down and pat him reassuringly on the shoulder.
Okay, he's actually shaking quite badly, and those of you who are human are well aware of the infamous willpower and sternness of the witch hunters, and this guy seems utterly broken.
It's alright. Faith can, at times, lead us astray.
Wait, is combat over yet?
Yes, combat's over. You are no
Okay.
longer in combat, so you may move out of turn order and such.
I'm going through the bodies.
Okay, roll search check.
Search check is what stat?
More right, you should probably check your rules.
Yeah, I'm going to also, after comforting the Witch
Bah.
Hunter, I'm going to perform the rites on the
Okay.
bodies.
I don't find anything useful.
Please perform a academic knowledge religion check.
Let me... There we go. I'm going to fate point that.
Fortune.
Not fate point. Fortune.
Surely you're
Ah,
at a
damn
fate point. Surely you're at a fate point
Damn
by
it.
now.
No, that was my last one.
Okay, you botched the ceremony pretty badly, but
Actually, no, wait. Izzy was right. I was out, so the first one has to stand. I just checked my count. So the first one stands.
Yeah, so
Okay.
everyone's out of fortune points now.
okay. So here's what I'm going to say in regards to that.
Yeah.
The tutorial session, I will allow this.
Yeah.
In the future, if you do a reroll and you realize you don't have a reroll, I will simply take the worst of the two rolls.
Okay.
Moving on. Okay, so you still botch it. It's not horrible, but thankfully none of the other people here are Morites, so it's not like they know better.
Yeah.
But the god is probably not horrendously displeased. I mean, you
Yeah.
are doing the best you can, and you're like half dead. So
Yeah. And as a side note, I am now going to try and bind my wounds. And, I guess, Merton's.
Okay, does anyone want to talk to the fucking witch hunter you just captured?
Give me a moment. Actually, is the Witch Hunter actually injured in any way, shape, or form?
Not really.
Okay. Because I was gonna...
Are we binding him as we take him back, or...?
Well, I don't heal myself. Merton, do you accept healing?
If I can, you healed me in combat.
Oh, shit.
You can't heal him.
Oh, well. Who wants healing?
I need it.
I do.
That roll doesn't count.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's for the elf. Then the dwarf.
Elf, he pats you suggestively, and it does nothing. Dwarf, heal D10 wounds.
Sorry, a priest of more pats an elf suggestively.
Without realizing it, yes. Anyway.
5.
Dwarf, you heal 5 wounds.
And then I'm going to turn to talk to the Morite. Or not the Morite, the Sigmar. Right.
Everybody
Alright.
but Mikhail gets to go first in talking to this guy.
Yeah.
Because Mikhail is healing.
Well, Mr. Witch Hunter, my name is Merton Krieg. Do you know what happened to all of the stuff that was taken from the caravans?
Roll a fellowship check.
Yeah. I still have my bloody sword.
He glances up at you and frowns at you, and he's still shaking really badly, and starts shaking his head and muttering something about one eye, and sinks back into his hands.
So, like, okay, I can't talk to the Witch Hunter, but can I mention something to the elves, the others?
No, you can talk when it's your turn. Elf, you're up next.
I move forward towards the witch hunter. I place my hand under his chin and move his face up so that we are looking in each other in the eyes.
Very well. Then what?
You've given us quite the adventure, sir. But you seem very upset. Why?
Fellowship check. There is a bonus.
Whereas fellowship, Match. Error with your formula, please try again.
Just roll.
Just roll with
Oh,
D100.
sorry, it's D100, isn't it? It's not working.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, that's not potentially. It's potentially not terrible. Potentially very not terrible. What's your what's your fellowship?
34.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Okay. As you say that, the physical contact seems to calm him down and bring him back into reality. And he sort of shakes his head and says, "The church would be ashamed of me. I came here to find something. I had heard rumors of some thing eating its way through the forest, some darkness." And he pauses for a second and sort of looks up at all of you and he says, "I found it."
Does it happen to be in that cave back there?
Just a second, I need to leave.
What?
What?
What did he say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ben, say again.
He said he has to leave for a second.
Okay, I heard just a second, and then I didn't catch the second half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait for Ben, because obviously this is important.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, that was quick. Dwarf, you get one more chance to talk before everyone can have a free-for-all.
So, basically what I just said. Does it happen to be in that cave back there?
He looks and shakes his head and says, No, there's just some monstrous spider in there, nothing unusual.
Templar, you said one eye, didn't you?
At the mention of the one eye, roll a fellowship check.
Please pass this one. Someone has to pass it.
Nope.
Maybe not.
Talking about.
At the mention of whatever it was that he saw, he literally starts bawling like a child and sinks onto the ground. Good job,
Well
Val.
done.
This bodes ill.
The dwarf looks over at everyone. Can I smack him now?
No. Though on a second thought, dwarf, you should speak to him. Sigmarites have high regard for your people.
I have spoken to him.
I
Say
can
some-
try. I can try again. I was
Val.
getting somewhere before you turned up.
Thal, you should probably get away from him.
I'm going to step back. And look the other way.
Elf, would you like to try again?
Yes.
And for those of you who are mostly empathetic, it is very clear that his crying is not "I'm sad" crying. It is "I am literally in complete and abject horror" crying.
I move towards the witch hunter again. I kneel by his prostrate form, I think is the right word.
Yep.
And I place a hand on his shoulder. Witch hunter, sir, what is your name?
Ooh, roll a fellowship check. Once again, there is a bonus.
Because we should really leave the speaking to me, shouldn't we? You know, I'm actually getting somewhere in both conversations I've had. Okay. Sorry, thing is doing stupid.
It's all good.
Why can I not fly? Wow.
Just roll D100.
I can't get off my character sheet. I can't scroll up enough to.
Try clicking away from it. Like,
No.
click off. Oh, okay. So there's a little. Are you able to see the top of the sheet where it says like "show to players" and stuff? Or sorry, where it says you. Sorry,
I
can
can
you
s-
see your name?
I cannot.
You cannot see your name.
No.
Can you see the thing in the bottom right where it looks like 3 lines in the very bottom right?
Yes.
Okay, you can use that to drag the window to a smaller size.
Excellent. Thank you. D100.
Okay. Or, I mean, yes. Let me see. Oh, yeah, you're fine. Okay. He's not doing so hot on his willpower checks. Alright, so he calms down and sort of starts lumbering onto his rear. And, hold on, let me find his name real quick. And as he sits back, he gently strokes one of his pistols and he says, Dieter, my name is Dieter von Krumpf. I was sent from Altdorf.
Wait, hold on a second. How did you get that pistol?
Yeah, the dwarf kicked them away.
Oh, right. Never mind.
He strokes the icon of the hammer around his neck. There we go.
Sure.
Sure.
Can I take another go, or does someone want to? Because I think...
No, you may continue to speak to him. There's a certain amount of time you get, depending on how well you roll in your check, where he's lucid.
And his name is Dieter.
Yes, Dieter.
Dieter, you met these men. How?
He seems to frown for a moment as if dredging up a memory and says, They found me after my company was slaughtered. I was the only survivor. They took advantage of me, and he seems to sort of shake his head and lean and sort of covers his eyes and said, I was a fool. I allowed myself to be taken advantage of because I was afraid. I was willing to do anything just to be around someone, and they convinced me that they would help me find this creature and kill it. That they would help me get back to Altdorf. They just needed supplies. I didn't. I was blind.
May I speak to someone else before we do anything?
Can I comment from across the room, I guess, standing?
If you want to risk it.
That
I
might
say,
not
if
be.
you
That
seek
might
to
not be a
kill this
brilliant
creature,
idea.
worry not. You will have aid.
Roll a fellowship check, Val.
Ah, damn it.
Val, that was not a good thing to say.
Not by much, though.
How much did you fail by?
2 degrees.
2?
Yeah.
He gets a very distant look in his eyes. Like, stupidly distant.
I had this one, Val. I really did.
Anyone else?
I will say, Manling, look
Wait.
at me.
Wait. Can I speak to the dwarf before he says anything?
Probably. Though he's probably groaning just like he was.
Shit, what was the last thing I said to the guy? What was the last thing he said?
They were all slaughtered.
They were all slaughtered. Shit. Dwarf, ask him where. Where did his men fall?
So I will say the same thing. Manling, look at me.
He looks vaguely in your direction.
Where was this slaughter you spoke of?
Roll a fellowship check, dwarf.
Someone has to pass this eventually.
No.
He seems to grow extremely, like, he has a fearful look on his face. He goes, No, I won't go back. You can't make me, never! And starts backing away from you.
We won't make you go back. Would you like to return to the temple?
Foul, roll a fellowship check. I don't know why you keep hitting buzzwords.
Foul.
Ah,
Foul. I can score insane bonuses to this. Come on. Just
Foul, how many degrees do you fail by?
4.
Okay. He looks in your direction and goes, Back to the temple! Why? So I can be an outcast or so I can be hanged? And he starts, and he turns around and leaps for the nearest pistol.
And I go after him.
Okay, why are you going after him?
I am going to try and grapple him again.
Okay, roll to hit.
One sec.
Alright, you grab him, and he slips away from you.
Ooh, cheeky bastard.
And he grabs a hold of the pistol. Would anyone like to try and do anything before he fires it?
I'm going to jump him.
You are way too far away for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge.
Okay, Elf, you have a chance to get to him in time.
Yay.
Are you going to attempt to hit him with your axe or grapple him?
I think we're going to have to kill him now.
Interesting. Okay, swing.
Plus 10.
Yep. Actually, plus 20, because you got the dwarf there.
Fuck.
Okay, you swing your axe down, and he manages to roll aside, and before any of you can do anything, he holds the pistol up to the bottom of his jaw and fires it. The witch hunter is dead.
I
really
break
trouble.
out swearing.
I don't know what you're swearing about, priest. You ruined
He was
half
my
of
only
this.
chance for answers.
Yes, and you did a great deal to get them.
You know not of what I speak, elf.
I know
Yeah.
what I saw. And I saw you pushing him and pushing him further away from any use to us.
Well, the both of you shut up. Black Root in need. We need to go.
One more.
Yes.
No, I have something yet left to do. I'm going to administer the rites.
Then be quick about it.
Because I am your GM, and this is technically a tutorial session, now would probably be a wise time, though you probably should have asked him while he was alive, to look for all of the stolen materials.
I did ask him.
Yeah, we did.
We
ask
did
him.
ask. We didn't get anything out
Yeah,
of it.
too bad he was
He
too crazy.
Well,
Maybe those of you who
I
are having a...
succeed.
Ah, you perform an excellent rite on him. Your god is pleased.
I'll search for the stuff.
Everyone roll a search check. Pray to God you find it.
Nope.
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 Hello, am I being too loud?
nope.
I said hello, am I being too loud?
Ha ha ha!
Okay.
Clever dwarf.
Yep, I'll take care of it.
The dwarf is proving to be the most
Right.
useful of
Good
you
night.
all. Wonderful.
Bye. Dwarf, with your keen dwarven eyes, you notice that something's not quite right about that tree trunk in front of you.
I thought so.
The obvious place to look.
So I go up to it and check it.
Okay, being a dwarf, and this being a really simple manling trap, not that they can devise anything that's moderately clever by dwarven standards, you quickly find the way to unlatch it and rip open the trunk, stump, and beneath it you find loads of sacks, carrying many different supplies.
Oh, sacks. Right.
Better get hauling then.
There you go.
All right, you between the four of you, you're able to carry pretty much all of it without too much trouble, and thankfully, finding your way back to Nolan is much easier than going too
Before
deep
we
into the
go,
forest.
Sotek, am I able to take a shield?
Yes, you may loot a shield off one of the dead bodies.
Thank you.
And can I as well?
Pseudo to the annoyance of the Morite, but yes.
Actually,
You-
no,
you-
I can't loot because that's against the thing. So
Yeah,
never mind.
you may not.
Yeah.
Well, you could, but you'd piss off more.
Yeah.
But yes, whoever said that, the dwarf, yes, you may loot a manling shield.
Thank you.
What armor?
They don't
do
need it.
have?
Would anyone like to search their bodies?
Sure, I
I
can deal
already
with that
did.
too.
At this point, my guy just starts walking off in disgust.
What bodies? I don't see any bodies.
Meriton, you are really, really, like, out of it. You have had a hard day.
I don't find it.
Dwarf,
That is
no,
the
you're
correct answer
you're
for
too
it.
busy grunting about the shitty quality of the shield you just picked up.
I already failed to search earlier.
Well, that was for something different.
No, he did it
no,
right
I was
after the
searching
fight.
bodies.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Thank you for being honest. Okay, Mikhail and Merton, because you were critically hit, both of you please roll a willpower check. No. And Mikhail?
One moment. No.
Okay, you both gain one insanity point
Lovely.
Yay!
for being on death's door.
User joined your channel.
And with that, you all return to Nuln without
Aztec.
another incident.
Yep.
So, upon returning to the city, do you turn into the supplies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we turn in the supplies?
Yes, that you
Yeah.
found. The
To
sacks.
the innkeeper.
No, to the shopkeepers.
No, to the
Shopkeepers.
guards. To the
Actually, we
shopkeepers
should
and
probably
the
go back to
gate.
the market.
Yeah.
Okay, you return with all of their missing supplies, and the merchants are extremely thrilled with all of you. You have literally returned a full week's, if not more, worth of supplies that they were all missing and were doing terribly without. Therefore, they decide to repay your act of good and kindness with the following. Let's see. Each of you gain 3 gold crowns.
Okay.
And should you decide to haggle with any of these shopkeepers specifically in the future, you will have a plus 10% chance in your haggling attempts.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a question.
I would heavily advise you to make a note of that somewhere.
Yeah.
Under which...
I'd put it under like talents, just plus 10% to known shopkeepers. And in the near future, they may have actual half-decent supplies for you to buy from them. That being said, all of you, as you are returning towards the inn, because I assume you're all extremely exhausted.
Can my guy go and pay respects to the Temple of War?
Yes, in a minute. You're going to want to see this.
Is there, among all those sacks, was there ale for the tavern?
Yes.
I am the one carrying that.
Fair enough.
As you all are approaching the inn, you hear a strange rumbling sound coming from the north.
Okay.
Do y'all look to the north?
Yes, I turned and looked to the north.
Okay. From your slightly uphill advantageous position in the city of Nuln, all of you witness something shaking the far trees in the distance. You see birds go flying every direction. And then, explicably, out of nowhere, a massive boulder comes hurtling out of the forest, sails towards the city, and smashes into one of the walls.
How did we miss that?
The wall starts to crumble. A good part of it. The whole wall doesn't collapse. The area hit sort of is notably dented, though not completely broken through. And the rock lets off this weird reddish blue glowing mess and then tumbles onto its side in the field. And the forest stops moving.
What was that?
Destiny.
Did we
And I turn and walk away.
Did we miss a war machine when I wasn't looking?
It's kind of a big forest.
What is the name of this forest, by the way?
Reichwald.
The Reichwald.
Interesting.
There is quite a bit of panic going about the city, but most people are moderately unconcerned because they don't see a massive army standing outside and kind of missed what happened. But there's a lot of murmuring because now there's a big glowing red rock with a bunch of weird symbols carved into it outside the northern gate.
Should we head to the northern gate then?
Actually,
No, you should probably go back to the inn.
Yeah.
We're not doing this again.
Upon returning to the inn, you are greeted quite happily by the innkeeper, who has already received word of your success, and he very gratefully takes back the food and ale that he was missing. And you all have access to excellent things in that department. Foul, as a thank you, he provides you with enough healing poultices that you are able to heal the full party. So you may now attempt a heal check for every player that was wounded, and
Okay.
you get a plus 30% chance.
Literally everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So, starting with Merton. No.
Meriton, you're going to need to rest.
Ow, ow, take the bullet out before you put on the patch.
Stop squirming. The elf.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm fully healed, so don't worry about it.
Oh. Yeah. And myself. No.
Nope. Wow, you are terrible at this.
Yeah. I'm
All right,
alright.
so you're vaguely wrapped up, but due to his level of concern, he does decide to call a sister of Shalia, who is a friend of his in, And this will normally not happen. This is tutorial only, unless you happen to do something nice for the Shullians. She does go ahead and heal you guys up to full wounds.
See, and this is why you let the Shalians do it.
Foul, you may now go visit the Temple of Mor.
Okay, so I'm going to make my way to the Temple of Mor.
I'm going to pull up the map. That being said, while you're there, you hear disturbing rumors.
The Temple of Mor?
Would I have said that otherwise?
Okay, what are these rumors?
You're hearing rumors that there's a graveyard in the poor district that you are currently inhabiting, where strange things have been happening as of late.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I immediately set up for the graveyard.
By yourself?
Is the inn on the way?
Not really.
Then...
You're gonna need to make a bit of a detour.
And
your party's probably gonna need a full night to recover, seeing as 2 of you almost died.
Yeah. But...
So why don't you go home?
But see, here's
and
the
cool your
thing,
fucking
though.
jets.
My guy's stupidly religious, so wouldn't he go straight... Wouldn't he be duty-bound to go straight to the graveyard?
I think he'd be slightly more intelligent than that,
Okay.
especially since a giant boulder just came flying into the northern gate.
Okay, so he will go and rest.
Some caution should probably be exhibited.
Okay. So I will return to the inn.
Okay, you return to the inn. All of you are provided a very high-quality meal for the evening, and are given drinks as to your preference. Dwarf, you even received, because he ordered it and was waiting forever for it to get there, though unfortunately it had been cracked open already and was half drunk by the bandits, but you actually get some authentic dwarven beer. It's not Bugman's by any measure, but it's not bad.
Better than what I was drinking.
Yes. And you all go to sleep for the evening.
Okay.
But the Morite does look concerned. That being said, morning comes. Eventually you all stumble downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Morite, would you like to confront your party?
I need to go to the graveyard. Is anyone coming with me?
What, did someone die in the night?
No. Possibly worse.
Then why do I need to go to the graveyard?
Would you let your dead be disturbed?
They aren't his dead.
They're not my dead, yes.
But
Then
I
that
will
is
help
why
you
I
because-
must go. I am not asking if you... I am asking if you come with me. I'm going regardless.
I want to see what happened at the gate.
I will help you, priest. I do kind of, well, owe you for the arm.
Will there be more witch hunters there to terrorize?
Hopefully not.
Crap! Didn't even take his guns.
Nope. Good job, team.
Yeah.
I am more interested in the gate as well.
Conveniently, they're both in vaguely the same direction.
So, do we know that?
Yes, you do.
Okay. It's like,
You
then we go
being
to
a
the gra-
Morite, you inquired
Well,
at the
then
temple.
lucky for you, the graveyard is on the way.
Yes, that's so lucky. Where would y'all
Lucky
like to
for
go
us,
first?
I'm
The
sure.
northern gate or the graveyard?
Graveyard's closer, I presume.
It is.
So,
Party vote time.
So, there.
Okay, 1 vote for graveyard.
Merton votes for the graveyard.
2 votes for graveyard.
Gate?
1 vote for gate.
Graveyard.
3 votes for graveyard. Graveyard wins. The dwarf has to come along grumblingly.
Butterkeep, some ale before I leave.
You already left.
Damn it.
Okay, after a little bit of wandering and having to ask a couple people for directions, you make your way to the Garden of Mor, in the daylight, of course. And you have heard rather strange rumors, but you actually haven't heard anything concise.
So,
What are the
And-
rumors we have heard?
Some people have said something about the dead on the move. Some people have just said that this particular garden, which has been nicknamed the Gutter, for the fact that the poor are often buried here, is just acting up as usual. Most people seem to have a pretty negative opinion of it.
okay, so I walk up to the gate.
Okay. As you approach the gate, you see a man clothed from top to bottom in black robes, and it's very difficult to see any part of him.
Do I see anything else?
You see another Morite priest moving in the field beyond him, but you don't actually see anything.
Okay, I enter the graveyard.
He is blocking the gate, and
okay.
it is sealed.
Okay, brother, will you let us in?
You see some eyes glittering from his robe as he sort of stares in your general direction. And he says, I am not familiar with you.
My name is Mikhail. I hail from Ostermark.
He frowns and says, I hardly see what business it is of a initiate from, what did you say, Ostermark, to do here.
As a doomsayer, I go where more guides me. And my dreams have brought me here.
He scoffs and says, so have many said such things when it conveniences them. Why do you have those three behind you? What do you want?
I heard
I
rumors
want to
of-
leave.
Good contribution, Dwarf. 10 out of 10.
Silence, dwarf. I heard rumors of foul deeds being performed here at night. Is there any truth to these? I
His
pray that
eyes.
there's not.
Take a gossip check.
Okay.
And yes, your fortune points are restored.
I'm going to reroll that.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. He glares at you and he says, why, are you inferring that I cannot perform my duties? Or are you perhaps inferring that we're behind such things?
No, not at all, brother. I merely inquired as if you needed assistance to put these rumors to rest.
At this, he turns to the other Morit behind him and seems to shout something at her. And as she heads over, he glares at you, in particular, Mikhail, and says, we do not need help from outsiders. We can handle this just fine. And he walks away from the gate to go deal with something. And the female Morite priest comes in also, but she doesn't let you in. But she does stand on the other side of the gate and look somewhat apologetic. You can actually see her face.
There you go, Manling. Got your answer.
I will not rest until I have all the answers, dwarf. Would you stand so idly by as your honored dead were disturbed?
Gazul would never allow such things.
I turn to the Morite and stare at her.
She frowns at you and she says, I think I've heard rumors of you from the temple. You're the one from out of town, correct?
Yes.
She pauses for a moment and says, it's not wise of you to come here.
It is said that it is not wise for a doomsayer to go anywhere. Why is this particularly worse?
At this, she scoffs and says, you are but a young initiate. I think you still have more to learn.
Elf, what's a doomsayer?
Why would I know the answer to that?
Well, you're always the smart one, or at least that's what you make it seem like.
I can soothe priests.
She
Of a
nods
certain
to
sort.
the party behind you and she says, quite an adventuring band you seem to have brought with you.
Yes, quite. I find myself guided here by a vision from Moore, and I seek.
She raises an eyebrow from you. She says, really? Moore told you to come here specifically?
No, he told me to come to Nuln and to deal with a beast.
She sort of frowns and says, well, there's no beasts here, and Nolan is an awfully large place. Perhaps he was guiding you to whatever threw that boulder at the gate yesterday.
Perhaps, but as a servant of Moore, I heard rumors that this graveyard had been desecrated, and thus must see to it that it is not true.
At this, she shrugs and she says, all of the poor graveyards are desecrated on a daily basis, little one. This is nothing new to us. Sometimes the corpses end up in places they're not supposed to be. The rainwater pushes them up because they're not able to afford proper coffins to be buried in. Sometimes some wild beast digs them up. It's nothing that unusual. It's just foul rumors.
But I am aware of all of these things, but rumors of the dead walking is something I cannot abide.
At this, she actually raises her eyebrow. She says, I don't know where you're pulling your sources from, but I can assure you there's been no walking dead.
I pray to more that is so.
At this, she actually nods her head to the three behind you and says, and what brings you sorry souls this close to a garden?
This Davzaki.
She smirks at this and then turns her attention to the other two.
Well, I kind of owe him a favor.
This, she sort of nods and then turns her attention to the other darkly robed figure.
This one's bumbling amuses me, nothing more.
At this, she sighs and turns her attention back to the young initiate before her. It says, so you came here based off rumors, with no evidence, with a party that's not actually interested in helping you in any way, and you expect us to just let you in.
I'm a doomsayer. I never expect an open welcome.
At this, she raises an eyebrow and says, yes, and so do rats in kitchens, yet we decide to butcher those just the same. You should be on your way.
I'm gonna snort and turn and walk away.
Okay, she locks the gate. Y'all are barred from the graveyard.
I would say that confirms the rumors of the Walking Dead, does it not?
What?
Precisely.
The truth does not come out during the day.
Perhaps
sure.
returning at a
Anyway.
different time of day would be wise.
Or not.
Do what you will. Duty compels me to. Me. And I turn and walk out of the graveyard.
Okay, are y'all now heading to the northern gate?
Yep.
To the gate.
Alright, y'all approach the gate, and there's actually not terribly a lot to see. Mostly it's just a bunch of guards standing around gawking at the huge boulder that slammed right next to most of the meaty parts of the gate. And it's still glowing with rather baleful runes that none of you can understand or read. But other than that, it seems pretty harmless.
Merton will walk up to the group of guards and say, well, what a strange thing this is.
One of them sort of scoffs and says, by Sigmar's loins, could you be any more obvious?
Have they had someone to see what it is?
At this, he shrugs and says, supposedly the wizards are going to be heading down with the Countess before too long. We're just here to make sure nothing else follows after it.
Has anyone gone near it?
One of them raises an eyebrow and looks at you and says, by all means, volunteer.
Very well. I start walking
volunteer.
towards it.
They
What the
shrug
hell are
and
you
let you
doing?
through because they're not really in the mood to stop you.
Okay, I walk right up to the object.
Okay, the closer you get to it, the more intensely the runes seem to glow, and they are very, very painful on the eyes.
I can tell this is no natural thing.
Wow, there's a
Yeah.
academic statement right there.
Duh.
I am keeping my distance.
Dwarf, are these the runes of your kind?
Gods no. Is there any check I can make on these runes? Sotek?
No.
How big is this object?
It's probably about the size of 2 complete wagons with horses side by side.
Pretty damn
It
big.
is huge.
Okay.
Any of you know of something that could throw something this size? An object this size?
Even no academic knowledge of runes, huh? Okay. Can I look out beyond and see, like, maybe where it came from in the forest? Get, like, a bearing?
You may try.
What do you want me to
Let's say you may choose between navigation and follow trail.
roll? It doesn't really matter. They're both sucky for me.
Okay,
Can't-
roll away.
My follow trail is not bad.
You may attempt it.
Okay.
But is it possible that there is some sort of residue in the tracks that this thing has left as it rolled down the mountain?
It didn't really roll. It literally soared through the air and slammed into the wall.
Ah. That's interesting.
Like something launched it.
That's
That's
very
my
interesting.
comment as to something throwing it.
And my comment as to missing a war machine.
Burnt will,
Perhaps
see
I
the,
missed that.
Burnt will look at the dwarf looking off into the forest and try to see what he's looking at.
I will throw follow trail as well.
Okay.
It is an intelligence check, is it not?
Yes.
Aha!
Damn, Merton.
As a side note, am I actually like physically in pain by standing near this thing?
Yes, it is not pleasant at all.
Yeah.
Well, standing near it's not so bad. It's looking at it that sucks.
So I turn to face what they're looking at.
I pass.
Okay. Give me a second, both of you.
Merton's super fast though.
You did.
Yes, following launched projectiles and skinning wolves, I'm your man. If you want to hit something, don't ask me. Merton will turn to the guard and ask, did something else happen besides the trees before the big thing came?
They all
What are you
shrug.
calling it?
One of them's like, well, just the boulder, really. It's hard to think of a really good name for it beyond that.
The boulder? It's huge.
They shrug and say, we're not paid to name things.
I'm gonna try and reach out and touch it.
Okay.
Does something happen?
No.
You ready?
Okay.
You ready to cut his hands off?
You touch it, and it's a rock. It just has really painful eye runes on it.
Interesting. It is safe to the touch.
You fucking hope.
And I remove my hand. Because I'm not that big of an idiot.
As you're all standing there, congregating around the stone, you hear the sound of armored boots approaching and hear someone yell, "What the hell do you think you idiots are doing?"
Looking at the stone, what do you think we're doing?
Who speaks?
You turn and you see none other than young Captain Rolf standing there, and he goes, "I knew you should be called the idiots for the reason. Seems the elf was right."
No one else was brave enough to touch it.
And he glares at you and says, "Or perhaps nobody was stupid enough to touch it before the wizards arrived. Get the hell away from that thing."
Very well.
He scowls at all four of you and says, "I heard that you successfully recovered supplies from the marketplace. A good start, I suppose. You have a few more days before we perform your evaluation. That being said, don't go about messing with things that involve the entire city. I'd rather you not accidentally incense whatever threw this thing."
We were told that the Countess herself is coming to see it.
He nods and says, "Which is precisely why I'm clearing everyone out of here."
Perhaps, since you are moving us away, it is not a good idea to let anyone but the wizards examine it.
At this, he shrugs and says, "Well, perhaps it wasn't the worst thing that you approached the stone. Seeing as our little friend here," and he gestures to the Morite, "hasn't sprouted tentacles and fallen over foaming at the mouth, it's probably not as terrible as we feared. But this area needs to be secured for the Countess and the wizards, so it'd be best if you moved along."
Or perhaps it is my god's protection that defends me, and it is dangerous. As I say as I turn and walk away.
He gives you a really flat look.
Wow, Val, you're really having it with the dialogue today.
Mark will say, "Are you going to be guarding it yourself?"
He glares down at the dwarf, and like his mood goes from like flat but annoyed, but as soon as he looks at the dwarf, it goes to like borderline enraged, and he says, "That's none of your business, dwarf."
Well, here's to hoping you get some sort of mutation while you guard it, man. And I walk off.
He grabs his sword and pulls it halfway out, but then seems to think for a moment, frowning, as if he's thinking of something he's probably heard somewhere else, and very begrudgingly sheathes it.
I'll
other
get back to
members
the
of the Black Wolf contingent start showing up and very not nicely suggest that you head back into the city.
Well, I'm already walking off, so
As am I.
That is more for the people who have not started to move yet.
yeah.
Merton sticks with the guards and moves back into the city because not staying out here.
Okay, you wander back into the city. And as far as the giant stone is concerned, you have no leads.
So, Dwarf,
What?
did you notice anything about that hilltop?
No. I looked at it for long enough. What did you see?
What? The one that the boulder came from.
Yeah.
The one to the northeast. He will gesture at the wall, because that's what you can see now, in the direction of where the hill was. I could not notice anything about it that was bad. It was just a hill.
Yeah.
And oops, I don't
Then
want to
perhaps the thing that threw it has moved on.
So it comes from roughly there,
Nope, came from there.
being the northeast.
Wait, that's
the
west.
northwest.
Came from there.
Thank you.
That one. Okay. Can we head to the eastern gate?
You may. It will take you most of the day to get over to that part of the city.
Yeah, fair enough.
I go back to the inn and order another ale.
Okay. Is anyone else going to return to the inn?
I'm going to go back to the inn and wait for nightfall.
Okay.
I will also return to the inn.
Okay.
I'll return to the inn and ask Holt if there's anything else we could be doing.
Okay. You return to the inn, and Holst is sure enough back at the bar. And you approach him. Roll a gossip check. Okay, that'll suffice. He sort of nods and picks up another mug that looks pretty bad and starts sort of scrubbing it out. He has a very annoyed look on his face at this particular mug. It says, "Aye, lad, I've heard some rather disturbing rumors. After what y'all cleaned up in the forest, of course that boulder came launching out of it. Lucky y'all weren't there to see whatever was causing it."
Yes, very lucky.
He nods for a moment and says, "That being said, I have heard some rather interesting things you might look into. Of course, rumors are having it that something weird's going on near the gutter, which is a graveyard not too far from these parts."
Oh yes, the priest was very interested about the rumors.
He nods and said, "I bet he is, being one of the weirdos from his order. No offense," he says in Fal's direction.
No, I'm one of the extra weird ones. To hear them say it.
He continues scrubbing out and he says, "That being said, the church would probably be mighty pleased with anyone who happens to deal with that problem quietly for them. It's not exactly looking good that they can't handle whatever's going on in there."
Can I return to the Temple of Moor?
To do prayer stuff?
To that and to ask around.
You may.
So
But
I'm
you'll
going
have to wait until I'm done with this conversation.
Good.
Okay, so Fal leaves. And he looks a little bit more visibly relieved and relaxed. He says, "Well, now that he's gone, I can talk a little more openly about it. Some say that the Moorites are completely failing in their duties over there. I've heard rumors of half-eaten corpses turning out in the streets."
Like locking?
At this, he shakes his head and goes, "Nah, just like something was just taking chunks out of them. The bones were all chewed up. I ain't heard nothing about Walking Dead, though."
Oh, thank God.
Wonderful.
Oh, hold
He sort of
I have-
scratches his chin for a moment and says, "That does remind me, though, I've heard some other rumors you might be interested in. I have heard something about some kind of big old beast that's wandering around out west. Not west, east. There's water
west
to
is
the
the
west. I've heard some pretty strange rumors about some monstrous creature wandering out to the east. They're saying it's some warrior of a colossal size who's charging people taxes to pass by him."
Which part of Arkansas is the bartender from now?
Shut up.
How big?
At this, he shrugs and says, "Some people I've talked to have said he's 20 feet tall. Some people say 12. Some say 8. Depends on who you're talking to, really."
He looks like a man.
At this, he sort of scratches his chin and said, "Well, some people have said it's a demon wearing clothing. Some say it's a troll that's learned to talk. I haven't heard anything terribly concise.
Mark will laugh at the mention of a troll that can talk.
He shrugs and says, the only other rumor I've heard that's probably interesting enough for you lot is there's some kind of thing going on down south. We haven't had a single caravan make it from the south yet. At least not for the last few days. Something's going pretty bad down there.
Even the heavily guarded ones.
He nods and says, even the dwarf caravans aren't making it up these days. Something's going on. Something's not letting them get up here.
That perks Mork's attention.
He sets down the glass and says, I used to receive pretty good dwarven ale every once in a while. Even some high-quality beers. But they dried up at least a week ago. But in the last 3 days, we haven't had a single messenger from the south. Not a city, not a dwarf, nothing.
Has the city placed a bounty on the information about what is happening to the south?
At this, he nods and says, something out there is hunting down all the caravans. If you can find it, they'll pay you good money to deal with it.
What about the beast man thing in the east?
At this, he sort of shrugs and says, I imagine there's probably some people that would be willing to reward you. I can look into that for you if you'd like while you're out.
That would be great. So I do have one more question. Who would I take this to get it cured? Martin will take out his coat, wolf pelt, because I'm assuming it still has to be cured and things.
He sort of whistles respectfully and says, that's a mighty fine pelt. I imagine you could probably find a tanner not too far from here. I'll give you their address.
Well, thank you.
He shrugs and says, he'll probably try and extort you, but if you tell him Hulse sent you, he'll give you a fair price.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to go drop that off?
Yes, I would.
Alright, you go meet with the tanner, you tell him Hulse sent you, and he offers you a pretty fair deal. He tells you he'll cure it and make it into something reasonable of your request for about 6 silver.
Alright, yeah, I will pay that for a nice wolf cloak.
Okay, he says he'll have it ready in a week.
Sweet.
And then we found out whether or not Ulrich actually blessed you or not.
Am I able to go to the dwarf district?
No, dwarf quarter is still locked.
Okay.
So I'm still on my way to the temple?
Yes, no, you have arrived at the temple well enough at this point.
Okay. So I'm going to start, well, I'm going to do prayers and typical rites, and then...
Roll the gossip check.
Yep.
Very nice. Alright, after asking around and talking to more people of your similar level, other initiates, you're able to glean a little bit more factual information about what's going on. And what you hear, or at least what's been passed around by word of mouth, is that something has been digging up the corpses and consuming them. Not all of them, because parts of the corpses are being found, but way too many are being dug up lately, and something really strange is going on down there.
Mm-hmm. Would the same role also suffice to find out about the rather angry priest?
Basically all you learn is that they're pretty indignant that it's happening to their garden, and they're really embarrassed, and they just don't want anyone... They want to fix it themselves.
Right.
But apparently they've had very mixed luck.
Okay.
They're not even sure what's causing it, though apparently they have tried to solve it. At least they claim to.
Very well. So, what time is it?
It's getting pretty close to evening. You should probably return to the inn.
Okay. I return to the inn.
Alright, the Morite arrives, and the dwarf is probably finished draining the rest of that dwarven keg, and is probably sorely disappointed there's not more. The elf is most likely nursing a small glass of that weird shit she usually drinks. And the bounty hunter probably looks fairly amused at the prospect of money.
Side note, this is out of character. Can Morites drink, or is that completely forbidden?
No, you can drink.
Okay. So I'm going to walk up to Holst and order a drink.
Okay, he tells you it's on the house and slides you a half-decent looking ale.
And I proceed to drink it ceaselessly until it's empty.
He eyes you warily when taking back the glass. And says, "Ill tidings, priest."
One could say that.
He decides it's wise not to inquire further and goes into the back.
Then, Mikhail, it seems that there's a bounty to figure out what is happening to the caravans coming from the south. Also, lots of dead things in the streets.
Yes.
Well, pieces.
Eaten.
Oh, so you heard about that too?
Yes. You up for some night hunting, bounty hunter?
Well, I usually don't do this thing for free, but I have a feeling that I will be relying on you in the future. So why not?
Yes. And worry not, my friend. I pat him on the shoulder. The church rewards those that do us well. And then I proceed to walk over to the dwarf. And sit down.
What?
So, dwarf.
Hold on. I have to do something now.
Okay.
Okay, everyone look at the chat. There you go.
What?
By the way, I can possess you guys. Keep that in mind.
I didn't even type it.
Wait, what'd you do?
That's what he said. He said, what?
Yeah.
Not what. What?
Sorry, I regained my composure.
That's the funniest thing we've heard all evening.
Master Dwarf, would you be ready? Would you be willing to help me do honor to my ancestors?
Pull in that card, I see.
Yes.
And how are we honoring your ancestors' black robe?
Putting a stop to those that defile their graves.
So let me get this straight. You want me to go probably tonight sneaking around? Yes?
Yes.
I will look over and glance at Merton. Is he healed enough?
Yes. The sisters do good work.
Merton will flex at the dwarf. And then go into a burst of drunken giggling. Because I'm assuming he's drunk a lot by now.
Well,
You'll sober up pretty quick, trust me.
I will whisper. Well, I might be able to get to see the damn Elgi get torn apart tonight, so why not?
Good.
Elf, roll a perception check.
D100?
Yep. Always.
Never
If I
remember
say the
which-
word check, it's
I
always
can
a
never
D100.
remember which ones are broken and which ones aren't.
Oh, if it's one of your actual characteristics, it's broken.
Probably a fail.
What's your intelligence?
35.
Okay, yeah, she doesn't hear you.
At
Good
that
job,
point,
dwarf. You whispered quietly enough.
At that point, I turn and start walking towards the elf. And sit down.
You bother me?
Of a sort.
What does that mean exactly?
You're not the only one that can speak in riddles, elf.
Please,
seems
God,
that-
Fowl, don't do this.
It seems that sometimes I might be the only one who can speak.
Ouch. Burn.
I'm just gonna smile at her insult and say, You are aware that I deal with much greater ambiguities than that which you speak.
You are aware that at some point you must get to the point?
Yes. Are you up for some hunting tonight?
Are you drunk?
No.
I am.
Shut up.
I'm already coming to love the mercenary. Or the bounty hunter. Are you drunk? No. Yes! From the distance.
Turns and looks at Merton.
What?
A drunk German. It really is Warhammer.
Put it this way, elf. If things go your way, you might see the dwarf killed.
Dwarf,
The
roll a
dwarf
perception
is
check.
Come on, dwarf, hear this, hear this.
No.
Shit.
He's too busy ruminating over the fact that he's out of dwarf beer.
But the dwarf is more competent than you have proven yourself. Why would I want him dead? Besides the obvious, of course.
I would suggest that the obvious is a good reason.
Well, you could watch the priest bumble around in the dock.
And the mercenary wins.
Merton takes a swig.
The mercenary has persuaded me. Let's go.
Good.
All right, then.
We wait for nighttime.
Yes, and you should be very concerned at the fact that I have a nighttime version of this map.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking.
That's probably the best.
I
the
drink
best.
more.
I throw a bucket of water over the mercenary anyway.
Yeah.
What? I took a bath like last week.
I took one yesterday.
You fucking liar.
Was it a beer bath or?
All right, now let's see if I can actually use this. Let's have some fun.